Life is Strange is a wondrous series filled with realistic characters and not just picture-perfect figures that get into wild situations. It's also got a lot of ups and downs. I loved Life is Strange 1, thought Before the Storm was good, and had a hard time caring about the characters of Life is Strange 2. They're all good stories, but I'm up and down with how attached I got to each game's set of characters. Next up is the first game of the series I really considered buying because of its protagonist, and she did not disappoint. Let's dive right in. Here is my review of Life is Strange True Colors for the Nintendo Switch. True Colors takes place 6 years after the events of Life is Strange 1 and a couple years after Life is Strange 2. Though you don't really need prior knowledge of the series to enjoy the main game. True Colors is pretty standalone, the only reference being Steph, a character that originally appeared in Before the Storm. Though if you want to go into Wavelengths, this game's DLC campaign, you will need prior knowledge for that. This story is centered around Alex Chen, a socially awkward young woman that's been contacted by her brother Gabe to offer her a chance to reconnect after several years, along with a place to live in the town of Haven while dealing with her mental condition, a very extreme version of being empathic. Alex struggles because she can see other people's emotions as colorful auras, read their thoughts like a telepath, and the stronger their emotions get, the more they affect Alex until she takes on those emotions and feels exactly what they feel. But after Gabe gets into a tragic accident, it becomes Alex's personal mission to find the person responsible and bring them to justice, all while adjusting to life in Haven with her growing friendships with the townsfolk. From the get-go, I loved Alex as a character. She's relatable, socially awkward, doesn't like looking people in the eye, she's quirky, and is just a very realistic sort of person. From those quirks, the fact that she isn't the embodiment of the perfect female body, and she portrays her social awkwardness extremely well. While Life is Strange is all about characters narrating their thoughts to the player, when Alex comments on something you look at, it feels like she's the type that would actually think that to herself and not just say it for the sake of gameplay. The narrative here is good as well. The whole plot is a big mystery of how Gabe's accident happened and Alex tracking down the one responsible. How she helps people with her powers I also found to just be so much fun. She reads their emotions and thoughts with her empathic abilities and uses their true feelings to find the best way to help them. The sound design in this game is also brilliant, with the music they put behind the more emotionally impactful scenes really helping it to hit home, to the point I almost cried multiple times across the game just from how well the dialogue went with the music. I really only have one complaint about the game's story, and that's how short and compressed it is. There are many aspects of the story, from how Alex hangs out with Steph and Ryan to build their friendship, to the resolution of the big plot reveals in the final episode. The story just skips over things, and you get to see what happens after instead of actually see it happening. Them doing this with Alex's friendships are like, okay, they're good friends now, that's fine. But when I got to the end, it was a big disappointing, is that it moment. I wanted more time with Alex and her journey, especially considering this game's story is easily half the length of the other Life is Strange games. Then we have the DLC story campaign, Wavelengths. This is a short episode about Steph getting her job at the Haven record store and how she handles the 4 seasons. A lot of this DLC is basically a mini character study for Steph herself. Most of it's kind of just okay with her browsing dating apps and doing little tasks around the radio station, but the Autumn chapter dives into the events of the first game and Before the Storm, and how Steph deals with the trauma of what happened, regardless of what ending you chose for Life is Strange 1. And that gets really good. It's great for people who played the original games. They'll enjoy this character study and all the little audio throwbacks and flashbacks to the original game and especially Before the Storm. When it comes to gameplay, this is a third-person adventure game with dialogue choices. As with all the other games, you're going to be navigating 3D areas, interacting and talking with people and objects to advance the story, with a slight amount of puzzle solving thrown in here and there. The first thing we need to talk about is DLC. Because this game's only a few years old, the Wavelengths DLC isn't bundled in with the game. If you want to play through that chapter, you'll need to purchase it from the eShop. With main progression, it's very similar to the other games. You'll almost always have access to the town of Haven that you can freely explore like a hub. Your goal will mostly be to do tasks, like cleaning things up around the bar or finding people you need information from. It's slightly more open than the other games in that you have more to free roam around in each section, but the actual environments are much smaller than the ones found in Life is Strange 1 and 2. With features, you have everything you could do before where you interact with objects and Alex will give her thoughts about them. And while you don't get features like money or rewinding time, Alex's empathic abilities are constantly used as you explore. There are always people you can walk up to and read the emotions of, some for the story, and many just there as little side things you can do. This feature is a lot of fun to use as you just walk up to someone and read them, hearing their thoughts and opening up dialogue choices so you can help them make decisions based on how they truly feel. This is also pretty much the only thing you do as far as puzzle solving. Whenever you're talking to someone in a main story objective, you have to read their thoughts to be able to understand what they're feeling and why they're feeling that way, to be able to get the dialogue choice that you need to advance the story forward. The whole mechanic is very interesting to me, that it felt like the side objectives, aka the other characters that you can read and hear voice acting from, were just a part of the story, and I actively went looking for other characters to read even if I was being sent after a specific task by the main story. There's also a pretty big attention to detail here, like when you're helping someone remember a task they did earlier in the day, each item that you could have them remember is mismatched and jumbled in words to symbolize the state it is in their head as they attempt to recall it. The only downside here is the fact that this game is criminally short. When it comes to content and length, True Color's main campaign is barely 10 to 12 hours long. Wavelengths can lengthen that to about 15 hours, but it's barely half the length of the previous games. Tying that with the plot threads that are skipped over and summarized, it really felt like this should have been longer. Next up is presentation, which actually looks pretty good. The visuals are much further ahead than the previous games, with a lot of detail on basically everything. While you will see some occasional ghosting going on with certain objects a bit away from the camera from time to time, it looks very good. The performance is pretty good too, at least when it comes to frame rate. The game still runs at 30 FPS, and you'll still get frame drops in a few areas, but far less common than what we got from Life is Strange 2. The only downside to performance are the load times. Every time you load into a section or a save file, expect to be waiting almost a full minute to go to the next area. Entering buildings, however, isn't as bad, but will still take a good 30 seconds for you to fully load in. That's it for performance, so let's go into battery life. Life is Strange True Colors will give the original and light models a range of about 3 to 4.5 hours, while the V2 and OLED models get 6 to 8 hours. In conclusion, True Colors is a fantastic adventure with a lot of mystery, good sound design, and a fascinating take on being an empath. Now, the downside of the game is far too short, with sections of the story glossed over and summarized. It's got pretty lengthy load times and odd ghosting in the otherwise good-looking visual presentation. If you can grab this on a sale, it's still a great 10-hour adventure for you to trek through. Reviews to Go rates Life is Strange True Colors for the Nintendo Switch an 8 out of 10. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.